All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack 5 powerful and maybe even surprising principles from Ray Dalio, who is, without a doubt, one of the most successful investors of our time. And this isn't just about making a ton of money. It's about a completely different way of thinking that you can pretty much apply to anything in your life.
I mean, he's not just successful. People literally call him the king of hedge funds because of how much he's dominated the financial world. But the real question is, how did he get there? It wasn't just about picking stocks. It was about a very specific mindset. And if you want to put that success into numbers, just look at this. 6.3 billion baht. That's roughly what his net worth was back in 2021. You just don't get to a number like that by accident. You get there with a very disciplined, very unique philosophy.
And the engine behind it all? Bridgewater Associates, the company he founded from scratch and built into the single largest hedge fund on the entire planet. So you see, these principles we're talking about, they're not just theories. They have been battle-tested at the absolute highest level of global finance.
Okay, so let's get into his first big teaching. Dalio likes to frame life and all its challenges with this really powerful metaphor, a journey through a deep, dense forest. And this first idea, it completely flips the script on what we think of as success. See, most of us think the goal is to get out of the forest, right? To finally reach that destination. But Dalio says that's missing the point entirely. He believes the real prize, the real growth, happens inside the forest. It's in the struggle, in facing a tough challenge, figuring it out, and then moving on to the next one. Each puzzle you solve makes the journey itself the real reward. That actually leads us perfectly into lesson 2. I mean, you can't exactly navigate a massive forest all by yourself. Dalio's second principle is all about the people you choose to have on your journey with you.
So, what do you think? If you want to build a truly great team, what's the one skill you absolutely have to have? Is it being a visionary? Is it having charisma? Or is it being the best at the technical stuff?
Well, Dalio's answer isn't about being the smartest person in the room. Not at all. It's about being the best listener and the best communicator. He says success is not a solo sport, it's a team effort, period. And for a team to actually work, you have to genuinely understand what your people need, not just what you think they need. And that kind of insight, it only comes from one place, truly, deeply listening.
This flows right into the third lesson, which is all about leadership and realizing the incredible power that comes from having different points of view around you. You know, Dalio talks about this huge trap that so many leaders fall into, their own ego. They get so stuck on their own ideas, so convinced that their way is the only way, that they just shut everything else out. They end up becoming blind to reality, only seeing what they want to see. And this is the solution. A great leader knows they don't have all the answers. They build a team of people with different, sometimes even opposite strengths. You need the visionary who can see the big picture, but you also need the pragmatist who obsesses over the small details. You need the wild creator, and you need the super reliable stabilizer. You need all of them to see the whole picture and make the best decisions. So, if you need to manage your ego and really listen to other people, how do you actually do that? Well, this brings us to lesson 4, a practice that isn't about managing others, but about managing yourself. Dalio calls this one of the single best investments he's ever made in his life. And that investment is meditation. We're not talking about a casual hobby here. He has been meditating consistently for more than 44 years.
And it's a deep, deep habit. He does it twice a day, every single day.
Each time for about 20 minutes. For Dalio, it's the relentless consistency that unlocks its power, not the intensity. It just goes to show that these small daily disciplines can lead to absolutely massive results over time. So, what does he get out of it? Well, the benefits are very real. It calms his mind, it lowers his stress, and it clears out all of that mental noise and distraction. He finds that when his mind is finally quiet and open, that's when the new ideas and the really creative solutions can finally break through. It's his secret weapon for mental clarity. And that brings us to the 5th and final lesson, which really ties everything we've talked about together. It's about our relationship with something we all spend our lives trying to avoid: failure. Dalio sees life kind of like a game. And in this game, failure isn't the end. It's not game over. It's just a pause. It's the moment the game stops and gives you a chance to reflect, analyze what went wrong, and actually learn from it. Once you've got the lesson, you hit unpause and keep playing. Only this time, you're smarter, you're better.
So when you put it all together, you start to see the full picture. There's this golden thread connecting all 5 teachings, right? The forest journey is the game board. Your diverse team helps you see all the obstacles. Meditation keeps your ego from making bad moves. And every failure is just a chance to level up. It's all part of one continuous, beautiful process, learning and evolving.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If failure isn't an ending, but a beginning, a lesson in disguise, then the next time you stumble, the real question isn't if you failed, but what are you going to learn from it?